My last couple of videos, I talked about God being love, not love as an emotion, not love as simply being nice, but love as the very nature of reality itself. And if that's true, then it raises another question. Okay, how do you actually live that way? Because it's one thing to say, love your neighbor, but it's another thing entirely when your neighbor is driving 30 miles an hour under the speed limit, or cuts you off in traffic, or lies to your face, or betrays your trust, or you see them getting promoted while they're willing to compromise their morals. You're sitting there trying to do the right thing. Suddenly, these beautiful spiritual ideas become very real, very uncomfortable. Hi, I'm David Forshee, and welcome back to the Kingdom Within podcast, or welcome to the Kingdom Within podcast. Today's footage comes to you from our trip to Chehaw State Park here in the beautiful Talladega National Forest in Alabama. Most of what you'll see can be found in my last couple of videos, so this is more of a best of them both with a few new shots. And I'd like to thank our first ever official sponsor of this show, you, the audience. Your time and attention is the most valuable asset of this project. So let's not waste it and get back on topic. All right. So, the first step towards any spiritual life is awareness. You begin noticing your thoughts, begin noticing your reactions. You begin noticing how quickly your mind wants to judge. But awareness isn't the destination, it's the invitation. Because now you have a choice. Will I continue feeding the part of me that reacts? Or will I begin strengthening the part of me that loves wisely? And let's be honest, most of us want to judge when someone hurts us. There's something inside of us that wants balance restored. If we're really honest, we'll admit that we even enjoy seeing people who has wronged us finally get what they deserve, regardless of how harsh it is. We've all felt it. That's a human response. The problem isn't that the feeling appears. The problem is when we build a home, when we allow that to build up in our mind and let it live there. Because resentment, hatred, and anger all have an appetite. It never says that's enough. It always wants another reason to stay. And love does the same. When we build up love and find it in our hearts to forgive, it creates that appetite that is insatiable, the infinite quest of love. So someone needs to ask the obvious question. So we're supposed to love people who are doing horrible things, dictators, murderers, people who abuse children? And these are all fair questions. And I believe everybody should be asking them. Here's what I think often gets confused. Love is not approval. Love is not pretending evil doesn't exist. Love is not calling darkness light. Truth still matters. Justice still matters. Actions have consequences. Love doesn't erase truth. Love gives truth its proper purpose. Truth without love becomes cruelty. Love without truth becomes permission. A truly balanced spiritual life refuses both extremes. You don't have to love what someone did. You don't have to agree with them. You don't have to trust everyone. Forgiveness doesn't mean removing healthy boundaries. It doesn't mean pretending someone is safe when they clearly aren't. Sometimes love says, no, I can't exist alongside of what I know to be hateful. Sometimes love has to walk away in order to preserve itself. Sometimes love allows consequences to teach what comfort never could. Here's the deeper question: what kind of person are you becoming while all this is happening? Because anger changes you, bitterness changes you, hatred changes you, and it changes you long before it affects anyone else. They begin shaping your heart and influencing your thoughts. Think about when someone cuts you off in traffic. Immediately, your body reacts. Your heart races. Your thoughts start writing a story and creating a narrative. What an idiot! People are unbelievable. Hope they get pulled over. They could have killed us. I've got my whole family in here. They deserve what they got coming to them. We've all done it, but maybe, just maybe, they were rushed into the hospital. Maybe they were a little distracted. Maybe they're simply having the worst day of their life. Or maybe they were really just being careless. You don't know. And our peace doesn't have to depend on knowing. This is why I think Jesus was pointing us towards something much deeper than simple morality. He wasn't simply telling us how to behave better, he was teaching us how consciousness works. Whatever you continuously dwell in begins dwelling in you. If you live inside judgment, you become judgmental. If you live inside fear, you become fearful. If you live inside resentment, resentment slowly becomes your identity. But if you continually return to love, not sentimental love, but courageous, truthful, wise love, then something inside of you begins to change. I like to think of it like learning how to use a sword. Every time life confronts you, you have a choice: swing wildly with anger or intentionally willed truth guided by love. Nobody becomes a master in one battle. Every difficult conversation, frustrating driver, dishonest coworker, every betrayal is another opportunity to strengthen our soul. Every time we choose love over hatred, wisdom over reaction, your blade becomes a little sharper. Your character becomes a little stronger. Transformation isn't instantaneous, it's forged. And it always starts with becoming aware of what is life giving and what destroys life. Jesus himself talked about separating the wheat from the tares. I think this is what he was referring to. We learn to recognize what is life giving and what destroys us from within and burn away what we agree to be false. Not because God enjoys punishment, but because truth cannot coexist with illusion forever. You cannot serve two masters because you'll grow to love one and hate the other. The fire isn't there to destroy you. The fire is there to destroy what keeps you from becoming who you truly are. This path isn't easy. And I'm not going to tell you that loving wisely will make you rich or popular or guarantee an easy life, because it definitely won't. But the truth will always set us free. And freedom, real freedom, is worth far more than being right. So the next time someone cuts you off, you'll probably still feel irritated. But now we have the tools to help us become more aware of our thoughts and our actions. The goal isn't to stop being human. The goal is to remember who you want to become before you respond. Because every moment is shaping someone. The only question is, who is it shaping you into? God is love, and the kingdom of God is within you. Every ordinary moment is holy ground. Every interaction is practice. Every challenge is just another invitation to choose to love wisely. Thank you for listening. And if this conversation helped you think a little bit differently, I would love for you to hit that like button and subscribe. And as always, keep seeking the kingdom within. I guess you really must have gotten something out of this video. Stay all the way to the end. I purposefully edited this to make it 11 minutes and 22 seconds long. And if that's the reason that you stayed to the very end, come follow me on Facebook and let's have a chat. I love you. Bye.